meeting, we doing that meeting. At least.
So, so you're free from Sinskis jail, eh?
Ah, that one.
Well,
Apart from that, no, it's just been like how would I say it's just this 6 weeks now. It's been very different. Like, like work-life balance has been, I would say, what I've been dreaming of. Like, I've been
wow.
I told someone one day, like, do you know what it means? Like having not to go anywhere on a Saturday and
Well
not be
done.
Wow.
scared that, oh my God, I'm not going to this shit. Like
Well
I've
done.
been planning this for, I told her, I said, how are you happy? I said, this Saturday that I have, oh, hey, you don't know what it means. Not having to go anywhere and not having to think, oh my God, I'm
I'm
going to this
losing
shit.
money.
I'm going losing money. It's
Mm,
just, I'll tell you, that one enough. That's one I would
Kudos,
say,
kudos, kudos,
yeah,
kudos. You earned it. You earned it. You worked
yeah.
hard.
that is
Yeah.
brilliant. Okay, and I'm just really glad. I know that you have a lot to share. So, yeah, but really amazing testimony from you. I think we do have more people joining in. So we're going to kickstart in a minute, very cognizant of our time, and we do not intend to keep you all here for too long. But we really do appreciate you tuning in and spending your Wednesday evening with us. So if you're here to learn more about how to secure no-code tech roles, with no prior experience, or whether or not you've got, an experience in this field and you're just wanting to maximize the opportunity, then you are in the right room. Okay, I can tell you that for a certain. You are in the right room. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of things that we believe would help you get started, or at least get you to start thinking on the next steps to take in, on this journey to transformation. And just very quickly moving to what we've got planned and cooked for today. So obviously we've got the state of play, which is who we are, what's currently happening in the tech space. What is the industry talking about right now? Who are the people that they need? How many people do they need, right? We're going to get into sync skills and what we really stand for and what keeps us up at night. Why do we even do what we do? And how do you fit into the puzzle? And of course, nothing we say today is important if the mind is not right, right? We can all agree. So we're going to delve into the mindset, the importance of your mindset. Like, what do you have in mind? What are some of the habits that you've taken along the journey? And how does that habit form or shape who you intend to be tomorrow? So we're going to delve into all of that. Of course, we love stories and we love to bring you some of our amazing story testimonies as well. This time around, we've moved them in form of a case study. So you're going to see some pseudonyms, but you understand what I'm trying to say. We'll get into the details, but I thought it's really important that I set the context for this session. To all the people that are just joining, you are very much welcome. I promise you haven't missed much. So I was just doing the intro on what we're really doing today, which is simply put, if you're thinking to learn more on how you can secure your no-code tech roles with no prior experience, then I said to you again, congratulations, you are in the right room, full of experts, full of people who have, walked the path, done that, been there. It's not new. We're going to delve into appreciation of these roles. Who are they and what do they actually do? Again, for people who are not very privy to that information. So hopefully, again, this session brings you some more clarity. And of course, you cannot really do anything or get into this career if you lack the skills, or at least you don't know what skills you need to start to acquire. So we will delve into that as well. What are the skills that I need to be successful? And of course, we've got our experts in the room. We like to call them, alumni, but they are now experts in the field. They're doing really amazing well in their respective domains that they're working in. So they will be able to share their experience with sync skills and even beyond sync skills, what they've been up to since we last caught up with them. So if you're just joining, my name is Tayo. Please turn on your camera if you can. If you're in a place where you can turn on your camera, that'd be really amazing. I really want to see everyone. I would love to see your faces. I would love for us to, have a chit chat, ask questions by all means. If something pops to mind as we're going through this session, please pop it in the comment section. But before we get started, I just thought it would be nice to do a little bit of an icebreaker. And I know you guys have probably heard this 1,000,001 times. Where are you tuning in from? But we just love to see and know, how much of a diverse team we've got. So if you could pop into the comment section, where are you tuning in from today? Are you in Brisbane? I'd love to meet you. I'd love to know where you're from today. So if you're, just say, I'm dialing in from Queensland, I'm dialing in from Brisbane, but wherever it is that you're dialing in from, that would be good. We would love to really get to know where you've tuned in from today. So I'm waiting to see you all in the comment section. So alrighty, thanks Mimi from Ipswich and Bola from Sydney. Amazing stuff. Thank you. Breezy team can relate to the cold weather. I think I didn't realize Brisbane was capable of being this cold. I was out in the city today, I was literally freezing. So Perth, thank you, Chris from Perth, Dr. Dakwa from Brisbane, amazing. Whilst we're doing that, can I get you all to please describe your July in 2 words? I know that it's only like half of the month, but tell me, what have you been up to? For me, I would say exciting and busy. I think that that's probably overused now, but I'm really keen to hear what you guys have been up to. Describe your July, in 2 words. I say exciting because whether you may or may not know, we just came back from the Parliament House at St. Skills to showcase one of our products, which some of you guys on the call played a very huge part. So it makes it really exciting and just being a lot of actions, for us from that session. My July has been busy with work, but fun overall. Thanks, Mimi, for sharing. I'm glad that in the midst of the busy schedule, you're still taking out time to have fun, which is extremely important. So no matter how busy you are, it's extremely important that you still set out time. Or challenging, Bola, I'm sorry to hear that, but I guess that's part of life. We go through all of those different phases and different stages, and I guess challenges is fine. It's the approach that really matters. So I really hope that you have all of the support that you require to get you through this stage, and I believe that it's gonna get better. So keep pushing. Chibuzo says July has been very cold. I absolutely agree. Like, I used to live in Tassie, and I know that Tassie is known for the coldness, but I just didn't think Brisbane had it to be this cold, which is quite interesting to see. Okay, so thank you for joining, Nancy, Lola, Norma, Jane. I can see you all. Thank you. Eventful and challenging. Okay, all right. If you're on this call, inspirational. Wow, I love that. Well done, Dr. Dako. So for people who are on this call, you're whether or not you're on that journey, whether you've completed a training program, whether you're still thinking of, exploring programs like ours, like, that can really support you with that journey. I just want to know, perhaps in one sentence, why tech? Why not any other space? Why have you chosen tech? Like, why do you want to pivot, or why are you wanting to relearn if you've been there before and you've had a career break or whatnot? Why tech? I would really, really love to see you in the comment section. Tell me what drives you. Like, what's that push for you? Because we can all agree, if the reason you're doing this is solely to be referred to as a tech bro, a tech sis, that sometimes may not necessarily work. So someone says innovation, amazing. That's a strong one. So it's important that I just want to get a sense of your why, really. What's your why? And I will catch you in the comment section as I continue to achieve. So thank you all. We're going to delve into today's session. Like I said, the state of play is always very important. What's in here for me? And we do have a couple of important people in the room. So I do acknowledge every single one of you. So thank you all so much. I'll hand over to Noah very quickly while we have a quick rundown on the state of play, what's happening in the tech space. So Noah, when you're ready, just run us through what's the update on the jobs available for us.
Sweet, thank you. Thank you everyone. I hope you can hear me all right. Um, it's great to be here again, and I'm particularly excited. I'm seeing so many Sync Skills family members here, and would be as well. Thank you so much. We value your time, and we hope that you get value from this session. We like to have this conversation with you, so we can brainstorm. Going back to the state of play, or maybe I should start. My name is Noah, and if we haven't met, pleased to meet you today. And I'm the founder of SynSkills. I work with incredible people, and we have a very important work on our hands. But before we go into our mission, I'll just give you state of play, which is really to dive into, like, for some of you that are actually thinking about tech, right? Are there actually opportunities? And what problem are we trying to solve, right? So, for us Africans, you see a lot of Africans in this room. Um, we're very educated. We have a lot of skills. We're driven. We're hardworking. All of those things are not the question. They're not the challenge. But despite all of this talent, academic prowess, and everything we've got, a lot of people are still languishing in low skill job that is really sad to see. And I say that from a privileged position. In my role, I've had to have conversation with people daily, and some of them actually open up and, they say, no, I'm in deep pain. I'm just tired. I'm just over it. I'm stuck. You hear all of these words, and it's really moving. But then that's why we're positioning to solve that problem. Because if you look at the tech sector in Australia, for example, only 3% are actually included in terms of Africans. So, for example, in my organization where I work, we have 400 people working in different parts of the world: India, US, Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam. And I'm the only black person as far as I know, and I've been working for almost 2 years now. And I just miss all the banter I used to have with my friends working back home, and people that get you. So, seeing that big goal, and I can relate that to so many people here as well who are working already. If you ask them, they'll tell you maybe they're the only one, or maybe two or three, right, out of thousands. So it is not good enough. If we're going to stay here for the long term, at least for me, I want to stay here for decades. At this stage, we want to begin to change, you that kind of atmosphere, especially because there are a lot of opportunities, high growth opportunities in tech, that you can actually explore, especially if you put your mind to it, like you want to learn. So you can see from this report, this is not me saying now, this is from Tech Council Australia, which is a research body. They look at all the activities in the tech sector in Australia. They form government policies. They advise government, on immigration and what have you. You can see here that they want to actually get to a point where there are 1.2 million tech workers. As you know, tech drives every part of productivity in a country or organization, right? You can see all the emerging technologies and AI and all of that. They need people to actually work in those roles. But the challenge is there are not a lot of skills to fill that role. So what happens is they now have to rely on immigration. And the problem with that is that we Africans are not really benefiting from that. So that is why, SynSkills, if you can just go to the next slide, our mission is to empower Africans, and not just all Africans, but specifically motivated ones that want to actually change their life, change their career. So I think Tayo mentioned recently, we've dared to dream, and we've been incredibly lucky to be able to go to places where we would only have dreamt about. A couple of weeks ago, we had Parliament House. You can see in this picture, and to your left, which is my right, this is Ellen. She's the president of ACS. For those of you that maybe are privy to actually do any, IT related course or looking to assess your skills and qualification, you literally have to go to ACS, Australian Computer Society, to access your skills, right? So you can then apply for visa and all of those things. So she's the president, and it says a lot for us to be in the room with her, right? And there is Vicky as well to your right. Important people, and we'll be showing you evidence of, where our work, our mission has taken us to in the last couple of months. But for us, our mission is not just to train. We are not just an online training, platform. Just come and train and go. Our passion is from a deep wound that we want more Africans to actually thrive and prosper. And of course, that is why training is just one pillar of that effort. We also have applications that we're building that will change the landscape of business, helping people integrate, correctly when they come here to Australia and do jobs that matter. So we'll get to that, but the point is, we want to create opportunities for motivated African immigrant. And that's why I started with the fact that there's one thing, it's one thing to dream and want to change something. It is another thing for it to actually be happening. So testimonies are on this call right now that we call friends, that even though they are busy, they will still grace our occasion and come here to share their experience, the stories, just to help one more person, right? Which is what we are all about. Now, everything we'll be saying here is not ABC. And that is why we've said it is for motivated people. Because when we train people as well, we're not just training half-baked people. There's the concept of Nigerianness in so many things. For us, we want to get people into jobs and they genuinely are happy. And that requires a lot of work. And motivation enough will not help you achieve that. There's a lot of things I'll be talking about. But the point is, if you're keen to change your life, you want a change of circumstance, we are the go-to to help you. And how do we do that? We have a comprehensive, training that would help you. So it's a program, it's not just a training. There are a lot of things we'll walk you through, as we go on in the presentation. So please stay put. You don't want to miss out on this information, because genuinely it has changed some life. I'm sure some people that actually are now working now, they probably joined the webinar, or maybe a friend referred them somehow, but different stories, So stay tuned. There are a lot of things we'll be touching on that would really, really help you. Maybe it leaves you inspired. Maybe it leaves you to take an action. Maybe it just gives you more information to work with on what is possible. But I really encourage you to stay to the end, please. Now, what is our target? Our target is to train, 500 immigrants by the end of 2024. We're lagging behind, I must say, because again, we are also figuring things out, a lot of things. Like, we're barely 2 years, and even though we've seen a lot of incredible progress, testimonies that keeps us going, there are a lot of things that we don't actually know about business, marketing, everything, because we're not really optimized for profit. We're optimized for purpose. So many things are still, there's room for improvement. But here in this picture, again, our darling Rosie and Tayo with the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, former, I should say, and that means before the current one. These are decision makers, right? So we met with her at Canberra as well, and she was happy to share her insight. She really keen into what we were pitching to her, which is great. So just to give you more perspective, at Canberra, we were the only Black-owned African company there, and we had more than 50 companies, and we're talking about high-stake companies like the Googles of this world. Um, there are a lot of companies, indeed. The list is endless, right? Well, it's not endless, but there are a lot of companies. So, being the only African company there is also aligned with what we're talking about. We want to see a lot of innovation by African. So, job is a vehicle, first step. So now, in the next couple of years, some of our experts here, as they gain more insight in the tech industry, they'll start to see opportunities to innovate, start their own companies, build application, change the landscape so that we can all begin to prosper. So the work we do is deeply rooted in a mission. And our target by the end of 2024 is to get at least 500 people or immigrants, trained, upskilled to be able to tap into opportunities, right? So next slide. But before you can do that, I want to talk about, understanding. I know some of you actually want to get into tech for different reasons, right? It might be for flexibility, it might be to increase your earning power, it might be to, to have something more sustainable, something that is more, that is easy to do without really damaging your health, putting in the hours, physical constraint, all of those things. Whatever your why is, I think in my experience so far, people who actually connect or have a strong why are the people who benefit and are able to, keep it going even when the going gets tough. Because boy, there are times where it will be challenging. Yeah, you get that rejection email like, hey, sorry, we're going with somebody else, and maybe you've done 2 interviews, 3 interviews, final stage, and they tell you that, yeah, sometimes it's difficult, right? So we acknowledge that. So, but at the end of the day, if you have your strong why in the first place, which is, it is personalized, I can't define that for you. You have to reconnect to that. Then you'll be able to, yeah, pick up yourself. And the good thing we do is there's tailored support. We want to work with you closely, like your friend, right? Because again, it's mission driven for us. So your why is very important. Is that thing that gives you sense of purpose, right? Is your reference point for you when the going gets tough, when there are obstacles, because then you turn those obstacles, those minor bumps, into what? A learning opportunity, and say, yeah, this application didn't work, this interview didn't work, this assessment, I need to do a bit more work, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get better. I'm going to learn from that experience and go again and go again and go again. I've had conversation with some wise people on this call, and they've always referenced like starting over. I mean, like going again. There's nothing like failure, really. Failure is an opportunity to learn, to learn, to learn. And you always want to put yourself in a situation where you have continuous opportunity to learn. As I said, since skills is failing in a lot of things. For example, some of you might think, yeah, I apply, it's hard, I'm not getting calls, I'm not getting this. We too, we do a lot of things that we fail at. For example, right, in the last couple of weeks, I've been looking for partnership with companies across Australia. right? To say, hey, we have a community of talent who are great business analysts, project managers, product owners that can add value to your organization. Would you be willing to partner with us and interview some of them? Some of them will say no. Sorry. This. Oh no, our legal framework does not allow for that. Right? Does it hurt? Yeah, it does. But what do? I keep going. Like I keep sending it, right? And just yesterday, somebody told us, yes, we can work with you. Let's discuss. So we also get no, 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 no. But we keep going because the good things don't come easy. We understand that. And that's what we preach as well. So you have to keep going when push come to shove. You just keep pushing because what? The breakthrough is at the other end. So moving on, the other key thing I want to talk about before I pass it on is habit. And why is this important? So I was reading Atomic Habit, and that book is so insightful. I recommend by James Clear. So if you're a book reader, please check out that book. And some of the key lessons I've learned is the power of habit. And I, reflect my own life, the things that I spend my time on, my own habit, the things that I do repeatedly, that has shaped who I am today and is continuing to shape who I would be, are the habits that I've developed over the years, right? So habits, are behaviors that you've done repeatedly. They are now automatic. Think about when you started driving a car or learning how to drive a car. I'm sure you had that moment where you have to think about every single thing, right? Oh, I'm going to get in the car, switch on the ignition, get your gear up. You think about all the process to start a car. But now you're an expert. It is automatic. You get into the car, you do all those things invisibly. Like it doesn't even feel like you're driving anymore because you've done it repeatedly. It's now automatic in your mind. That is how the brain works, right? So ultimately, the ultimate purpose of habit is to solve problems of life with little energy as possible. So whatever problem you have or whatever goals you have, you need to create systems or habits that will help you achieve it. There's a popular saying that you don't rise to the levels of your goals, you fall to the levels of your system. Everybody can dream. I want to be a millionaire. I want to get a business analyst job that pays me 6 figure in 1 year, in 6 months. It is truly the system, the habit, the things that you do that will matter. And we're going to tell you some of the habit of the people who are actually successful. What do they do, right? Because it's very important. So that to help you change habit, right? You need to think about the 4 pillars, which is first, the Q, which is what you need to make obvious. In the context of you securing a 6-figure job, you need to say, oh, why do I actually think, getting a 6-figure job in tech is for me? Maybe you then print out that reason and post it near your bed. So it serves as a reminder for you to always connect back, right? The other thing that will make you get into the habit to start to do the things that will help you secure that job is to make it attractive. Because as I said, it's not an easy process. I know some people who have been successful on this journey. What did they do? They made friends, they made connections. Oh, let's study together. Oh, let's apply together. Oh, let's practice interview sample questions together. And they do that, there's synergy. It makes it fun. So you need to make it attractive. And next thing is to respond, right? Follow strategy. So if I know that, yeah, I have now, paired with Tosin, we're going to prepare for interviews on Mondays and Tuesdays. You need to stick to a schedule and say, hey, Tosin, let's stick to set. So we don't have to always say, okay, next week, what time should we meet? Upper week, oh, what time? Remove friction as much as possible. Just make it easy. When it's easy, you just, again, going back to habit, it just become an habit. We come here, we do that, and then as you build that strength, you'll be able to, you see that you improve significantly. And the reward is what? The reward when you complete something, task, say that session with Tosin, I can reward myself with ice cream and say, hey, I did this 2-hour session with Tosin, I've learned this, I'm just gonna have ice cream, or I'm gonna watch Netflix, right? How do I reward myself? On a very hard day, we just say, Tayo, for people that don't know, Tayo is my wife. Say, Tayo, our reward, we don't open laptop today. Let's watch Netflix. All right, let's just watch two hours Netflix. But in our own life, before we even watch 10 minutes, somebody has said, do you have link to something? LMS is not working, this and that. It's crazy. But what keeps us going is the fact that, hey, we're passionate about the mission. But the point here is for you to change habit, for you to actually be successful in things, you have to create a system that works, that helps you, do that thing repeatedly, that it becomes invisible, becomes automatic, and you'll be able to stick to it and succeed. So without understanding, if you want to be a business analyst, for example, you need to think about, okay, what type of person is a business analyst? And what do they do? What are the results they get? Right? How do they spend their time? What kind of skills do they spend their time learning or developing? Right? What will a business analyst do today? So if you ask yourself those questions, when you're doing things that are not really what a business analyst is supposed to do, it will help you reconnect and say, hey, maybe I should learn this requirement gathering talk. Maybe I should learn this part. Maybe I should practice this part, elevator pitch. Maybe I should practice this and that and that. And then that would compound to build your confidence and competency. So, not to blab, the key thing I'm saying is that we have a deep mission to help people who are ready to put in the work, but it has to start from you, from within, connecting to your why. Why do you want to do this? It should not be superficial. My friend did it, I want to do it. No, you should have your why, because it's what will keep you going. And the system, the habits you create is what will keep you going. There will be times where there's competition between going to that shift and coming to class or practicing. What will you do? I leave you with that as we go to the next slide, where Tayo will take over and talk about some case studies. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Noah, for sharing that inspiring thought around the habits and the things that we do. But before we proceed, I can see a couple more people have now joined us. So thank you so much for joining. If you just wanted to let us know where you're tuning in from, that would be really amazing. We're extremely excited that you decided to spend your Wednesday evening with us, which is really good. But I think it's extremely important that we all keep in mind that real change, which is what we've all had to undergo at some point in our lives, right? Real change really does come from a compound interest of hundreds of small habits. What does that really mean? Every action or inaction that I take today takes me somewhere. Now, this session is not solely focused on people who are they haven't had any form of training before. It is for everyone. Whether or not you've done the training, whether or not you're still on that journey or you're still thinking about it, whether or not you're working, whatever it is, it's to remember that every single thing, every single step that I take today towards something is going to give me an outcome. Whether that's an outcome that you want or whether it is not the outcome that you want, there's going to be an outcome. So whilst you may start to embark on a journey, as an example, you're on that journey where you're starting to launch an application. I do one application here and there. I don't get the result that I want, right? because what? Because I haven't actually put in the amount of effort that is required. The habit that I've cultivated is not enough to get me an outcome. If I do the other way around, there's going to be a result, which is me knowing and having a full understanding that there may have to be some, delayed gratification. I may put in applications today, but I may not get a result tomorrow. But it doesn't mean I wouldn't get a result. And with that understanding, you know that you're not going to give up just because you chucked in 5 applications in 3 months. There's no result. Oh, no, this is not for me. I share a quick story of one of my very good friends who, she was sharing a testimony with me. She lodged an application when she was 6 months pregnant, guys, 6 months pregnant. Now she's got a 4-month-old baby. The application that she lodged when she was 6 months gave her a call last week. And that's one of the quickest I've seen any organization respond back to an application. 6 was so good, they couldn't resist. Do you understand? 6 months pregnant. Think about the timeline for yourself. 6-month pregnancy. Now she's got a 3-month-old baby. Look at the difference. Now, a lot of people would think, well, I'm pregnant right now. Yeah, I'll do it when the baby comes. It simply doesn't work like that. Remember, real change really does come from that compound interest of hundreds of small habits that I cultivate on my journey. And I know that if I can get 1% better each day of the year, I stand a chance to be 37 times better at the end of the year. So every single thing that I do today takes me somewhere, whether good or bad. And it's extremely important that we know that when we say transition to tech, it is not a walk in the park if you don't have a system in place. I was making a joke. Something happened to me last night. I had worked on this important pitch. I dedicated 2 hours during my day to work on this pitch, only for me to realize that my 12-month-old had gone to my computer, had closed my computer. I now lost my progress. Look, guys, I cried. I actually burst into tears because I sacrificed 2 hours of my time. I blocked out everything, went into the room and focused on this speech because I had a timeline that I need to deliver this speech. This is for a parliament showcase, one of the outcome of that result. So you know how big it is. Now, my husband said, well, in theory, we can't really blame him. It's what we've put in place. In my head, I'm like, well, I'm going to blame my 12-month-old because he went to my computer and erased all the progress that I made. Now, thinking about it, if I want to remove emotions and all of that stuff, I know that my 12-month-old does not have the mental capacity yet to understand or know the difference between right and wrong. It will do anything. I paid for the system that I put in place. Why was the computer in a place where I know that someone who doesn't have the mental capacity to comprehend their actions can reach the system? Do you understand? So it's all about what are the things that you do? What is the process that I put in place? Sometimes I may whinge about my baby goes into where I keep my beauty stuff and chucks them in the bin or under the bed. I started to think about the structure that I've put in place. Obviously, without a baby, everything was fine. And I could arrange my things in a way that they look aesthetically pleasing for the gram and all of that stuff. But now I need to think about it differently. I need to think about all the complexities around me. I either change the system that I put in place or I continue to pay for that. It would go there, chuck it in the bin or chuck it somewhere under the bed or wherever. So you can't just, the point of my gist is that our habits, they compound. However we do it, the things that you put in place, it's going to give me an outcome. If I decide not to rearrange where I put my beauty stuff, I will continue to do the same thing repetitively, and I will continue to lose time because I have to spend time because I haven't put the right structure in place. Then I complain to people when people call me, oh, my 12-month-old is doing this. I'm the problem. It's the system that I've put in place. So my question to you is, what is the structure that you've put in place for you to actually get the career that you want? Not just solely to get your 6-figure job, but what is the system that you put in place for you to have the skills that you require. Someone was on maternity leave. I'm a living witness to that as well. 3 months postpartum, I knew it was time to go back to work, even though I had 6 month leave. I knew that during my pregnancy, I needed to do certain things such that whenever I was ready, I have everything that is going to put me on the ladder. So you don't do things when you want that. You prepare the ground. And you know what they say about opportunity meeting preparation. Look at this person that I have on the screen. That's not their real name, but this is a real person. And I'm probably going to scan through to see if they're on this call. But this is a real person who came to us from a deep place of pain, saying they had done the same work in Australia, came into the country on a student visa. Of course, they had to settle for care work, which is fine at that point in time. You do it to get by. But it becomes a problem if you stay in that career for 7, 10, 15, 20, student visa, same job, work visa, same job, permanent resident, citizen, same job, topping it up with $1 per year as an increase, where you've lost your weekends, you've lost your Christmas. I don't know, for some people who were on this call initially, someone was sharing their testimony where they now spend their weekend with peace of mind. Because weekends, in some jobs, if you're at home, you begin to have headache because you start to think about the money that comes in that day. And when you do the math will not really math properly because you know that you're losing money. Now they're in a career that affords them the opportunity to spend their weekend the way they like, earn more money than they did, and have that peace of mind that, oh my goodness, I'm not waiting for someone to pull me out. And this person that I have, Sam, like to my point, not his real name, he had a strong why. To Noah's earlier point, I keep saying transitioning is actually not for everybody. Pivoting or making a change, it can be for everyone. There has to be a deep reason. And when I speak to people and I say, look, why have you reached out to us today? Like, what is going to be a successful outcome from this conversation? If I can't really pinpoint a strong reason as to why they want to pivot, I know that it is not going to be a value added activity for the two of us. Remember, we are not just here to train you. So if you don't have a focus or you don't have a strong why, it is not a good use of our time to bring you on board, because we know that with very, very limited and shaky foundation, you're not going to be able to progress for the program. And we're not just about numbers, we're about quality and people who are like sick and tired of what they're doing. Whether it is flexibility that you want, whether it is more money, whether you just want to upskill, whether you want a career that offers you that growth. If you have those strong reasons, then those are the people that we want to work with, because we know that they would be able to follow through with all the strategies. Now, this person's biggest reason was the fact that they were experiencing a massive burnout. Why? Because they had to work around the hours, because they had to do a lot of things just to make ends meet. They found it extremely repetitive, which I think that a lot of people on this call can relate to. And I as well can relate to it as someone who had done that before as well. I know that you just go to work sometimes, like people call me and tell me, Taya, I just got punched in the face. And I feel so much empathy, because I know that genuinely everyone's trying to make ends meet. And there's this saying that says there's dignity in every job. It just depends on what you want, really, which ties back to your why. The difference between someone that attends a boot camp or comes to the training, someone would get a result, and someone who would probably spend a really long time is, are you focused? Do you have that strong passion, or you just want to rub the surface and just tick the box? Yeah, you're in tech. Yes, I'm in tech as well. I did this training, but yeah, this is it. So it is very important. If you don't take anything away from this session, is you need to go back to the drawing board. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want a change? Why do I want a difference? I'm going to come back to this, but very quickly, I'm going to come back to this other case study, again, real life story. I thought it would be extremely important that we even dive a little bit deeper for people who don't have the context. When these careers they were talking about, business analyst, which I hope that we all know, like, or we've heard it before, business analyst, scrum master, product owner. we want to delve a little bit into who they are, right? And who are these people? What skills do I actually need for me to be successful on these jobs? Whether it is a business analyst, whether it's a scrum master, whether it's a product owner, what do I need to keep in mind? I'll let Tosin run us through who a business analyst is. What do they do in simple terms? Now, don't go very techie on us now. We just want a simple explanation. Like, who is a business analyst? Can you explain that to us like you would explain to like a 20-year-old? Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Taya. Thank you, Noah. Good evening, everybody. So this section is, mainly focused to those who probably don't know much about who a business analyst is, who a scrum master is, or who a product owner is. But before I start talking about who a business analyst is and who a scrum master and product owner is, I just wanted to know that when we talk about technology these days, we talk about innovation, and these days, like both words even go hand in hand. There's no way you can talk about technology without talking about innovation, right? What does this tell you? This basically just tells you that this is where the world is headed towards. Now, I'm not telling you to leave your job to come to tech, or I'm not trying to persuade you to leave your job to come to tech, and that's the truth, right? What I'm telling you is, where is the future? The future is actually tech, whether you like it or not. If you're in medicine, the future is tech, because tech's going to be infused in medicine, right? If you're in finance, the future is tech. Finance is going to be infused in tech, right? Whatever industry you are in, mention one industry. If you're even in, how many of you know Loma in Nigeria, where those guys that pack shit and pack debt? The truth is, I'm very sure right now Loma will be looking at ways to infuse technology in their operations. So whatever occupation or whatever job you're doing right now, the truth is, if you're not technology inclined, then the future is not for you, and that's just the truth. So the sooner you get at it, the better, right? And you might not even necessarily have a core plan to, maybe you're in finance at the moment, and you're enjoying what you're doing. But I feel attending this program, right, already puts you a step forward, because you're already being technology inclined. You understand what it means to actually use technology to build solutions, right? Now, coming into tech is not limited to these three roles that I've mentioned. There are several other roles as well, ranging from cybersecurity, networking, data analysis. Even if you don't want to go very technical, we can talk about product marketing. Some people make, triple figures. Let me not put like 200,000 just being a products marketer, right? Marketing digital products, right? So there are several roles in tech, and trust me, you just have to penetrate in one way or the other. And we are giving you guys the opportunity to take your first step into the tech industry by leveraging roles like business analysis, scrum master, and product owner. Now, this is not where it stops, right? A lot of our students, and Taya and I will testify to that, a lot of our students have actually come and, trained with all of their heart, and straight up, they landed jobs as senior business analysts, right? We have our students working as principal business analysts, right? So we are not telling you to come and, come into a junior business analyst role or a BA role and then get stuck, and that's all you are going to do for 30 years, 40 years of your career. No, there are enormous opportunities ranging from, you can become a chain manager, you can become a product manager, you can become, a manager in digital solutions. In fact, the truth is, how many of you know that people that head tech in their organization, they're called chief technology officers? They don't write codes. And the truth is, the roles that get paid the most in tech actually don't write codes. So the question now is, what's stopping you? Right? What's stopping you? So let's talk very quickly about a business analyst and what a business analyst does. So like you can see, a business analyst is practically bridging the gap between the business and the actual technology solution. I see the business analyst as, let's say you go to a restaurant, right? You order, you're trying to order food. How many of you interact directly with the kitchen? I'm sure you wouldn't step into a restaurant and then you just go straight into the kitchen. No, you don't do that. But how many of you expect that your order is supposed to come to you the way you ordered it? I'm sure everybody would love that, right? You wouldn't go to a restaurant and want to order sweet potato and then they give you a car. Nobody want that, right? So who facilitates for you to actually get what you ordered for? In this context, we're talking about a business analyst. A business analyst is the one that ensures that the specifications that the client have made is actually given to them in the way that they've proposed or that they've requested for it. And as little as the solution is that you are building, a lot of things can be taken out of context. So a business analyst is the one that ensures that they define that solution, ensures that they create that details, all of the details that the client needs, and communicate it with the development team to ensure that they are building the right solution for their clients. I've heard of projects where a business analyst, was missing, and then they ended up building the wrong solution. So you see how vital and pivotal the business analyst is in creating a new innovation. So whatever it is you are building in an organization, you definitely need a business analyst. And the good thing about a business, starting with a business analyst role, is it just gives you a very broad perspective of what tech is about, because you're looking at it from two perspectives. You're looking at it from the business view, and then you're looking at it from the technical view as well. So that's why it's very, very important to have a business analyst on. And I'm sure, I think Noah has already run through the numbers. Like, business analysts are well sought after. The truth is, the demand for business analysts is always going to increase. Always going to increase. So this is the right time to get into it. And like I said, it doesn't stop at being a business analyst. If you're a passionate person, someone who loves to actually innovate, there are lots of opportunities, like I've mentioned earlier. So many opportunities. You can decide to pivot into another tech role, because as a business analyst, the more you gain your experience, the more you increase your technical knowledge as well and your business knowledge, right? Who's a Scrum Master? I'm tired. Please can you go to the next slide. So let's talk about the Scrum Master very quickly. So when we're trying to build solutions, we need someone who is going to ensure that the team stays focused. We need someone who is going to ensure that when we're working in an agile environment, and some of you might not know what an agile environment is, I'm not going to go deep into that, explaining that. Obviously, when you get registered for the class, you're going to get all of that information. But when you work in an agile project management environment, you definitely need a Scrum Master to ensure that you are putting, that the project is actually staying on course. First of all, you need to ensure that the project is actually, sorry. All right, I think my time is up. Tired.
No, you're fine. You can land your point. So just land your point. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, you definitely need somebody who will ensure that the team stays on course, somebody who is facilitating all of the different agile ceremonies, right? I'm not going to go into the agile ceremonies right now, but agile, you need to ensure that the agile framework and the agile values are actually imbibed in the team, right? Because if you don't have a solid Scrum Master on the project, then there's every tendency that project might fail. I'm talking about the Scrum Master in an agile environment, right? So the importance of a Scrum Master on the project cannot be overemphasized. And organizations know this. I'm very sure if you look at the stats as well, numerous organizations are actually recruiting for, Scrum Masters. And our course is going to put you in a position to be able to deliver value as a Scrum Master to your team. All right. So I'll stop there for now. Did you want to cover product
No, you're
owners?
fine. We'll come back to that. Thank you. And I think that's a really brilliant illustration. So if you think about business analysts, genuinely, I really think that we are the pillars, and we are the pillar. And I think that business analysts are one of the most important people on a project, just because of the information that we hold. Like literally, I make jokes. So my project manager on the current project that I work on will make jokes and say, Taya, if you leave this project, I'm gonna go. You own all the knowledge to the information. And that's just because that's the how important the role is. Like organizations cannot fully function without us because we are into the details. And there's a fine line between someone implementing the wrong thing, like very quickly, like this, it can happen if you don't have the right information, if you don't have someone who is providing that level of clarity. We'll come back to the other ones, but the way that you need to see a Scrum Master to Tosin's point is, there's very similar to your event planner. So they bring everyone together, right? They make sure we are all doing what we need to do. The event planner ensures, if you're in the context of a wedding as an example, they come ensure that I'm the bride, I tell them what I want. Their own is to ensure that when I get to the venue, I have the right decor that I want. I have the right logistics. I have the right music. I have the right catering. Like the caterers are there. People are there to time. Delivering to time. They're focused on the budget. They're really there to ensure that the event is a success. And the business analyst comes to the plate to ensure that if Taya said we don't want pepper soup on the menu, or we want pepper soup, but we want it to be mildly spicy, the business analyst is into the details on how exactly we want the pepper soup to look like, if you understand the analogy. So the Scrum Master ensures that the caterer is there, but the business analyst ensures that the food that the caterer will bring is perfect and fits the requirements. I, as the bride, have said, look, I'm not a big fan of, I don't like liver. So I don't want the fried rice that will be served in the event to have liver. The business analyst documents that, goes to the nitty gritty. The bride has expressed that she does not want liver in the fried rice. So please make the fried rice without chopping any liver, any of those Nigerian way of cooking fried rice. So they go into the details. The Scrum Master ensures that the caterer is present and they do the job. The BA ensures that the caterer does the absolute, goes into the level of specificity that the bride has mentioned, but really amazing roles there. And it's enormous. The growth is enormous. Like I started my career, for context, as a Scrum Master. Now I work as a senior business analyst. Tomorrow, I could decide to go into change. I do actually love change management. I think that's really amazing, just holding the pillar. But it's really, and I would switch without even like blinking, because again, I'm in that environment, I see things. Okay, we'll come back to who a product owner is for people who are interested, but I do have a very important person as well that would like to tell us in the person of Dr. Dako. Dr. Dako would share his experience in the tech space with us. When we talk about coming into the tech space and coming from a completely different background, how do we navigate that space? He's going to share with us based on his experience, his strategy, the mindset that we need to have in mind. And without wasting further time, Dr. Dako, you are very welcome. And we know that your time is, very expensive. So we're very much appreciative of you joining us this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. I can hear you. If you can hear Dr. Dako, please show of hands.
Okay, thank you so much for the honor and the invite. I'm so much privileged to be here again today. To the subject matter, what I would say is that I would like to say, number one, don't look at transitioning as something that is not doable. Number two, create a workable plan, meaning everything you want to do, make sure that it is, every one of us has the privilege of going through school. So that for me means you can actually make a transition if you really want it. And for those of us that have done, I think every one of us at one point or the other must have done bachelor's degree, which they say in final year you do projects. So going through a project from start to finish is just the way you approach business. That is for me, that's the way I approach it. Like we meet with our supervisor, in this case, maybe like a project manager, they tell us what we want to do. We go and do findings. We come up with, okay, what's the background problem? Up until when we write up the old document and we actually understand what our project is, we present it and we graduate. That's the strategy I used. I had the PhD and because I worked a lot in data, I used that as a privilege to really go into learning about data analysis. But while I was applying for roles, that was about 2 years ago. So I started my journey since about 2-3 years ago into business analysis. But one of the pitfalls I had then was, I think I had problems with answering interview questions because I came close to getting so many jobs that even when I got to the second stage and I was not getting the jobs, I was like, what was going on? You know, when they ask you a question about how flexible are you, maybe because, take for instance, you were asking me, can I work from North Lakes or I can work from Tuwong? But because Tuwong was closer to my place, I was telling them where I prefer to work in Tuwong, whereas I was supposed to have answered that I'm flexible, I can work anywhere. You know, getting roles, interview with urban utilities, auto and general, so many consulting firms. But like Noah said in the beginning is, we actually don't fail. We actually learn better ways of doing things. So there's no failure. And the thing is, we don't lose anything by making this transition. So what I would say summarily is have a strategy. And even though you are going to learn, same skills will not teach you everything. You have to really sit down and look at it that, how can I personalize what I want to learn? I would learn in class, still go back to it and see that, okay, if I'm going to tell my story, can I really say this story in a way that I won't have to be under pressure? Like going to interview and when they ask me a question, it will not be like as if there was an interview I had with urban utilities there for a senior business analyst. I think that was it last year or 2 years ago? And the person was asking me like, my answers were repetitive. I felt a bit like that was the feedback. I didn't get the job. Even there was time I interviewed with them, Logan City Council. They said I don't have a local government experience. And another time I interviewed Elysium Digital, they said, am I reading my answers from the screen? It looks like as if I was not giving a relatable response. So this is where preparation comes in. Meaning, let whatever you want to say, try to follow it sequentially. It's not about so much, it's about logical. Understand what you want to prepare, what you want to say. And essentially, there are simple tools that you can learn in this class, in this training, beyond this training. Go on YouTube. Knowledge is everywhere now. Student skills will be teaching specific things because I also was a student here. So they will be teaching specific skills that will help you get on the job. But there are still some things, skills will not teach you. Like the first time I used Azure DevOps, I never learned it from skills. I learned it in my office. So like Microsoft Planner, skills will not teach you. So there are so many tools depending on your role, and no two roles are the same. Every organization is different. So one of the things I would say is make sure you find friends that are already working in this space. And also, as I round off, I realized that as a data analyst, I started as a data analyst, I still work in the data space. You cannot do well without the knowledge of business analysis and project management. Because even if you think you'll be writing, I do a little bit of, now I'm going to be doing a little bit of coding, but I don't primarily write code. But I know Tosin must be doing a little bit of data and those things, so you understand what I'm saying. Now you'll be talking about SQL. You don't need to go deep down. Even as someone that is using Power BI and Excel and these other tools, for someone that, because there are some BA roles that are data related. Not all BAs work in software. But the thing is, they are the same knowledge from requirement gathering up until when the business, the solution goes live. Now, I'm even learning a little bit about ICT infrastructure, talking about data migration, cloud computing. I'm in my office, I'm like, I never did something like this. So the thing is, every roles evolve. So, but the good thing is, once you have the foundation, you keep building on it. And let your why be strong enough. The money should not be the primary factor. That was when I told myself, I never started with a big salary. I grew myself, and I'm still growing. If you go into this with knowledge, everybody's saying, I have friends that are earning way more than I do. But this journey is a personal journey. Don't make what others earn a motivation factor, because if you do interviews and you feel like, I think I've tried, let me go back to my plan B. Narrow options. Don't be confused. Focus. And I wish you success as you begin this journey. Thank you very much.
Wow, amazing. I picked on the last one and I couldn't really help but pick on the last one. You need to narrow your options and have a focus. Otherwise, it's easy to jump off because, to your point, if something doesn't happen in the way that you've expected it, it's almost like, well, I don't think this is for me, because you still have doubt in your mind, which shouldn't be happening. When you entertain doubt, which can, doubt can creep in by all means, but not entertaining it and knowing that this is my focus, this is where I'm going to, which connects to, if you don't have a strong reason for wanting to do this and you fall off the wagon, which is something that, it's very popular. And that's why the preaching or the tone of voice right now is, what is your why? Why exactly do you want to do this? Like, there's dignity in every job that is available, but if you're wanting a change, what is the why for the change? But thank you so much, Dr. Dapo. I know that you do need to go, but if anyone would like to connect with Dr. Dapo on LinkedIn, please by all means, it will probably share his LinkedIn details in the comment section. But thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for sharing your experience, and we're extremely proud of you, I should say. Thank you. Okay, so I've got Mr. Okpe Ariel. Some of you guys have probably seen Okpe on our YouTube, where he shared the story and where he was talking about a couple of things in relation to his journey. But I think this one as well is extremely inspiring, because I recall the very first time that I spoke with Okpe. I remember I was in Loni at that point in time, and just really seeing his journey right now and seeing, where how far is come, which is a testament to transformation and change as well. We're extremely proud of the amazing work that you are doing and keep doing in this space, and we do value your time. So I would give you the opportunity now to run us through your experience on this journey to change. Like, what was it like for you thinking about it from the very first time and your process? Could you run us through? I think that someone will benefit from that story.
Hello everyone. My name is Okwerio. I still hold my nursing registration. I was a nurse. I'm still a nurse. Nursing for about my 9th year now. And we all know the reason why we're going to this after living in Nigeria. It's just for visa purposes. And after a while, you get to that point of you don't even want the money, you just want your time. And this fateful day, I just had the chance meeting someone that connected me with Tayo. And I said, oh, we're having a class start in next 3 weeks. And at that point, I was at this place of, I don't want to go to those shifts anymore. I'm getting those money, but at the same time, what I have to do to get that money is just too much. Is at that point of, I want money, but just I am not sane anymore. Sorry to say that word. It was just too much. Then I spoke with Taya. She said, oh, this is what we do, business analyst. And I related to it. It is basically, as Tosin has said it, you'll be in the middleman and just, trying to get solutions to technical problems. And I thought, all right. And I will say this, it's a thing you have to dedicate your time, because I had to move all my shifts, cancel my shift, work it around people, because I've got to that point of, I just don't want this money. I just want to do this. And a few weeks into the class start, Kyle called me and said, hey, I'm sorry, we will have to move this class. And I said, oh my God, I've canceled so many shifts. I've taken this amount of leave. I've dedicated, I want to do this. And I said, oh, all right, we'll come back to it, which was a big relief. And that was last year, June, which I started. And we started the class, it was good, everything was fine. I will tell you, we're all adults here, most of us from Nigeria, what we've learned in school, the way we've been brought up, and our ideas will open our mind to what will be what Noah, Tosi, and Tayo will be teaching in this class. And at the point I thought, oh my God, these guys are just here to take our money. After we finished the course, it will send us on our way. And truly, I finished the course, keep coming back for interview sessions, onboarding me into a team. I did interviews. I would say 10, I would say I can't even count. I was coming for a year. Every evening I get home, I take my laptop, I join the class, I join the group. And I've got group members which were really up. We got to a point I said I was not even doing anymore. I'm cutting out, I'm not doing anymore because I was that tired. I keep coming to interview sessions and I keep hearing no, 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 no. But I will tell you guys, it's just an indication of just keep going, just keep going. It got to a point, I tell them in class, I feel like I'm the Agbaya of this class now because I just keep coming back. Because I've done so, I can't even count how many interviews I've done. Because I did so much interviews, but it's not like you don't know this stuff. You do we have the what's it called, the daily scrub. We have your team, you join, you do everything, you get to where you what you want to say, you talk about this, you talk about that, but you just don't get that breakthrough. And you come back to Noah, Tayo, you feel like, oh my God, and everybody's getting the story. I will tell you, it's just the fact of I just kept pushing. It got to a point, a friend, Lola, I met her face to face, and she told me, this guy, I don't give up. The day Noah and Tayo and Tosin called me just to do an intervention for me, that was the day I said, I'm going back to register for masters in nursing. I said, I'm not doing anymore. This is it. I'm going to start masters in nursing. And we end that call. I said, I'm not doing anymore. I'm giving 1 year to this stuff. I'm here day in, day out. I am tired. And I will tell you, and Noah said something. This is the 11th hour. Now you want to give up. It was an intervention on the Thursday night. And I've gone on an interview that morning. I didn't say anything. And the Monday, I got that call out of nowhere. And I'll tell you, the interview I went for, because I've done that so much interview, everything they were talking about is just, all right, give me this. And it now favored me because it was in my domain as a nurse. It was an organization that deals with aged care, home care. It was just like, oh, I've walked into my house. The interview was just, all right, let's talk. And we had that chat and I left with the hope of, all right, I'm going to hear no again, as usual. I didn't even say anything. On Monday when I got the call, it was just like, oh my God, this is it. Like I felt like, oh my God. And I'll tell you, ever since that day, it's just, things have changed for me. I would say in a way of work-life balance, like in a way of you can think about yourself more. And I will tell you, it's just at the point I thought, oh my God, these guys, I don't know how they're keeping up. It got to a point I was running for Noah because that was how dedicated. You would think, oh my God, why I'm the one paying these people? They are the one chasing my life. They shouldn't be like this. It should be the other way around. Like it's that much. I can't say thank you enough because of the effort, but it's just depend on how much time are you ready to put in and how much time are you ready to keep coming back for more. Because I just keep coming back and I hear things and I go back and I oh my God, what is this? Well, I would say to where I am right now, the journey is it's been a rough one to get to where I am, but it's achievable because I have no idea with tech, and I'm doing the job right now. My first week was, oh my God, I called calling them, sending them pictures. They told me to do this, they told me to do that. But I will tell you, everything I've been asked to do is what I've even learned from day one, day two at this program. I still go back to my notes. I think my own major problem, personal problem, is not being computer literate of how to use Excel, which I'm learning. But apart from that, there is nothing in that place after going through this class that you won't be able to face. Nothing, because I still go through my notes, I still go through back of videos, I still, oh, this is what we talked about, this is what we talked about. It's just been, and I would say it's just the part of after the class of not just going away, it's just the effort that's been put after of meeting up with people, everybody sharing their ideas and everybody coming to those sessions of after class of going to your group, and it's just that has really helped. So long story short, I would say where I got to at my own point of my life and career, I thought I want to have a change, and I think this has been a good change, and it's been a great change so far. So tech-wise, I've not written any code so far. I've not. I'll tell you, they gave me what the closest thing to code they gave me. I snapped. I sent to Noah. They told me to write a story on that. I sent it to Noah. This is what I've seen, and basically all I just did was take out the way it is as code and just write it in Excel sheet for them, and that was it. And I'll tell you, when they see that work, they use that work today at my work, because they just OP has done this, OP has done. I'm telling you, OP, my mind is yeah, I've arrived, and people I've arrived. So it's still a learning process. I'm still learning as I go. At the same time, all my back knowledge that I've gained from what I've done, especially the assignments. There is the assignment of the first assignment I did that we did of Microsoft Excel.
Yeah.
I've been using that assignment again and again. About Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, I've been doing an assignment again and again and again and again. That's the fourth assignment, because I've had to go back to Microsoft Office to look at I use that stuff again. Okay, how will I do this? So I've been having reference points to go back to out of the assignments we've done. And when it got to the point of, when I got there, we started using, they onboard me using Visio. It wasn't anything new because we were using draw.io. And I had chat with Felicia. She's part of us. I had to call her, hey, come and teach me this. So, and after that, I've gotten the job, but she took her time before, right? Product time, taught me. It's been, so I would say the support I've had around me, it's just been so phenomenal. So I would say one good choice I've made is taking that right step at that right time and not giving up when I was wanting to give up. So that's a big deal for me. So thank you, Salawat. I can see you're there. So it's and I would say if it happened for everybody at your own point, don't think it's that, because everybody in my class, most of them are getting jobs. That means after a year. And I'll tell you, and the one I've gotten right now is a comfortable space where I can just do what I can do because I understand the background from where I was coming from.
Amazing, Okwe. Thank you so much for going
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for going into the details. And you touched on really, really important things. You cannot compare your journey with anyone's journey. You know, I've seen stories where some people say, oh, I know you enrolled for the training. I will only take the training seriously when you get a job. Your journey is different. Everyone is different. And I know Okwe would make bants and say, I'm the only one in my class. You know, everyone's working. But one thing was constant. He never stopped trying. I'll share a very quick story on what Okwe said in relation to me calling him and saying we're moving the class by a week. And I think I may have shared the story in one of our podcasts. Again, when Noah started this speech, he said we also face our own challenges, right? As a tutor, as a company, we have lots of things that we would love to do differently. We have lots of challenges, but we keep pushing. We know why? Because the why is stronger than us. Now, I called Okwe because at that point in time, we just had a baby, okay? We just moved cities as well. So a lot of things was happening. So we decided, I think it would be best if we had 1 week buffer just to breathe. And for people who've got children in the house, you know what it feels like, first-time parents, moving cities as well. So I decided, okay, I think let's move the training by 1 week just so we have a little bit of a breather. Then I struggled to pick my phone. Then I called Okwe. New mom, I think I was like maybe like 3 days. And then I said, hey Okwe, how's it going? Da, 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 da. And I said, look, we are thinking to reschedule the training by 1 week. And he made a point and said, oh, Tayo, I moved all of my schedule. I moved everything that I need to do, so I could start. But then he put a caveat and said, oh, no, it's fine, Tayo. I didn't go into the details. I just said, yeah, this was, we're moving the training by 1 week. Is that okay by you? I called some other people. Some other people said, oh, yeah, that's fine. That gives me enough time to do some more shift. Some people said, oh, no, da. But he actually stood up because he was so strong and like, wow. almost as though I was going to delay his progress by 1 week. And I said, no, that's fine. I made a decision right there and there. This is someone who is so passionate. I'm not going to let that fire die. So again, sometimes in life, you would need to get into that uncomfortable situation. When the why is strong, nothing can push you. Because I know that there are lives, literally, everyone is in our prayers. Everyone in the market right now, you guys are genuinely in our prayers, because this job, you almost get it. It is extremely important, for us, that you get the job. So that is how deep this is. And in making a point, and you're saying to me like, Tayo, I moved everything. I was like, nah, I spoke with the team. We are not moving the start date. We're going to proceed. And we started. And I reached out to Okpe in January. Our typical culture, welfare is very big for us. We're very people-centered. For people who know us, we're extremely people-centric. I called Okpe and said, Okpe, we have a lot of work to do. It is 2024. I need you to sign your contract before Q2 or Q3, whatever. You need to present a contract to us. And he made a point. He said, Tayo, I'm going to work with you till June. I'm giving this another 6 months. And to be honest, my heart kind of sank, because I know that I'm not about to lose this person. That is how deep it is for it. I genuinely actually went to God and said, okay, you've heard what he said. He needs to end up with the contract before the timeline. It felt personal to me, because I knew this person was not giving me a timeline. He said he was only going to give this another 6 months. After June, he would know that he had tried his best. And I spoke with the team about it. And for us, that was like, okay, we need to get to work. We need to do this. We need to do that. Okay, let's do this. Let's move things around. Let's do this. We started to work again. But the key thing was he had a timeline that he set for himself. And that served as a sense of purpose for him. He started to work towards that timeline. He had a goal. The truth is, if you don't have a timeline, and if your team, whenever it happens, it's hard to measure your progress. He, at the time that he was working towards June, he had a contract in May. He had a day and time that he was working towards. And that was also fueling his energy. I need to get this. Otherwise, he was going to go back to nursing. And I recall that Thursday that he told us, we all were in shock. Like, there's no way you were going back. Like, literally 11th hour, you were so close to getting this contract. And eventually he did. And one thing was constant. He knew exactly where he was going to, and he didn't stop. It shut down all the sound in the background. Oh, people have already gotten the job. People that we did the training together, they got in the job. If they had given up. So again, it's extremely important. Your why should be strong, and set the timeline. Have a target for yourself. Very, very important. Noah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in on that story, because I remember having that conversation with Okpe, remember, and I was so, I don't know what to call that feeling. Okpe said, I'm starting my master's on Monday.
Yeah.
And I was hearing on Thursday, because Okpe was kind of avoiding me, literally. It was like, I don't want to talk to Noah, this and that. So I didn't even know he has been going to some interviews, and he didn't send feedback to me. So he was kind of like avoiding, like, no, I just want to show Noah a job offer, and yeah, that's it. Because he was under pressure that, all his peers has gotten job, which is another thing. At the end of the day, this is a personal journey to everyone. Your time will come. It might take slightly longer. It might be fast. Your own time will come. But as humans, you can appreciate that, that kind of feeling of, oh my God, I'm the only one. What am I doing wrong? This and that. And it also compounds into the pressure when it goes to interviews. Because it's like trying to like overcompensate, like, I must get this job. All my peers have gotten job, this and that. So, but yeah, I'm really blessed, because we were like praying for you, like, oh my God, this guy should not give up on his dreams. You worked so hard, and we didn't want you to actually lose the opportunity. But you see how God works? That weekend, Friday, You know, when you shared the news, we didn't even, that weekend we were tense. Like, where's the offer gonna drop? Where's the offer? But we thank God for where you are today, and thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Yes.
you
So
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for,
Thank you very much.
staying true and like just not giving up. And it's very intense in the way that we may hound you. For anyone who is on the call, if you're not doing the right things, we would hound you, but we don't want to have to. We want you to have that in, within you where you're pushing yourself, but you can be certain that we would be there to support you on the journey. So thank you for sharing. In the interest of
You're
time,
welcome.
thank you. In the interest of time, Chibuzo, if you can talk right now. Sure, okay, I can see that you can talk. Okay, thank you so much, Chibuzo, for joining us. This is, oh my goodness, like when I think about Chibuzo, I think about a very strong woman and someone who is absolutely all round smart. I didn't even get to really appreciate a journey until she got a contract, until she got a job. And she was telling me about her story and how she came to Australia, how she was new in the country, how she had a strong why. Always goes back to the reason. Why are you doing this? I'll give Chibuzo the honor to share the why herself, but she had a very strong conviction in her mind that I'm in this country, I will not settle for what is popularly done. I would gone for the career that I know that is going to give me the satisfaction, a career that allows me time with my children, family, etc. And she did exactly what she needed to do. She followed through with the strategies. And when I think about her, I think about a testament to the fact that if you don't give up, or if you keep showing up, and if you have that confidence, there's a Chibuzo would call and be like, oh my God, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Da, 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 da. And then she would go out there and just show up, and you would never know that this is what is actually going on in her mind. I mean, interviews are very daunting. We can all agree it can be very daunting, but knowing the ability to be able to put things aside and just shoot for the gun, whether I fail or not, I would know that I've given it my best. Thank you so much, Chibuzo, for attending this session. I know that again you're just settling from work and all of that, etc. But I'll give you the microphone now, the virtual mic, to run us through your journey. Just sharing with us your journey to business analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Noah, Tosin. So I'll just go straight to the point. My why was in two phases. Sometime in my former career, my boss shared something with me and said, in the next 25 years, the careers that will be very relevant. And I looked through, though I saw the career that I was in at that time, but it was like bottom 3. And I had already started seeing things were beginning to shape up and change. There are lots of innovations happening. And I also had a dream of relocating. So in my head, how do I put myself in a space where when I relocate, I am still relevant in terms of skills? So relocating, I got into Australia and everybody kept saying, there are no jobs. We have to go do either customer care jobs or go and get into nursing and all of that. Somehow I knew that wasn't what I wanted, because another why again for me was that my husband travels a lot. I'm almost always alone with my kids. I have 2 children, a set of twins. And without having your partner in this country with you at all times, it's very daunting. Like, it's a lot of stress. I went from having a lot of help to just being alone, having to manage the kids alone. And that was my second why. Outside the fact that I still want to be relevant in the next 25 years or 20 years, and still want to be able to churn out value and give out innovative, be innovative in my skills, I also had children to take care of. So I wanted to get into the IT space. I asked around, I talked to a couple of people, but I wasn't satisfied until someone referred me to Sync Skills. The night I had a conversation with Noah, it was, okay, let's get it done. Then we started the training. Honestly, it was tiring for me. Having to take care of 2 kids alone, having to go through night classes, like Noah would tell you, we'll be in class and my son would just walk in. In fact, my son my son became our part of our, our class, having to make dinner. Most times we are learning and I'm making dinner and I'm trying to get children to sleep. I'm trying to do a lot of things. It was just a lot. But every day I came to that class, Taya has said it, I was always afraid. Like, I don't even know what this people are talking about. I don't have any IT background, but just show up afraid is my slogan. Do it, even if you're afraid, do it afraid. It was very thorough, from the trainings to the assignments. Sometimes my husband will be like, babe, are you going for a competition? If you don't submit, you don't submit now. You don't have to submit. They said submit on Wednesday. If you don't finish, you submit on Thursday, move on. I'm like, no, I have to see this through, because I just knew that this was the only option that I had. I couldn't go into any other careers because I wanted a career that would give me the flexibility of being at home. It's either I worked as a remote personnel or I did hybrid. And my hybrid, I knew in my head I didn't want to do anything more than 2 days in the office. Those assignments oh my God, I had to give it my all because I knew that this was the only chance that I had. Then for me, then we did, after the training, we wrote our certification exams and it came to structuring of the CVs. Oh my God. Noah would call, Chibuzo, where's your CV? Have you done this? Okay, I have done it. Now starting to apply. At some point, I got tired, honestly, having to churn out 10 applications a day, 20 applications a day. Sometimes I even see Noah's call and I'll be running away from me because I got to that point where I was already becoming, will I say scared or discouraged because of the kind of emails that you'll be getting. Oh, we are sorry, we are sorry. And another thing that I really wanted out of this was being able to put in my theoretical knowledge into practice. So there's one thing having theoretical knowledge, and there's another thing having practical knowledge. So that is what the internship program at Sing Skills did for me. Outside coming to class and doing the assignments and going back to doing the reading, having people to work with, talk with, get to work on a particular project. The project I worked on was a payroll application. Before I started the internship, I had done one interview. Yeah, it was good and fine, but I will put it on an average because somehow I wasn't able to relate everything that I was saying. But when I got on that internship program, having to work with the front-end developers, the back-end developers, I had QA testers who have a sprint events, it was like a practical journey, everyday learning, all those things that you have learned during the classes, you are actually practicalizing it. That gave me enough confidence that when I went for my other interviews, it was like it was easy because I could relate everything that I had learned to what I did at the internship. So it made it easier for me to talk the talk. I wasn't just talking based on what I had read. I was talking based on what I had practicalized in that 3 weeks or 4 weeks space that I was in that internship program. I won't lie to you, it was not easy. Most times I even want to run away from the meeting because I'll be having meeting 9 p.m. in the night, almost 9:30 p.m. What are we talking? We are here arguing. Developer is saying this, QA tester is saying that. How to organize and build something. That gave me all the confidence that I needed to, talk the talk during my interview. I wouldn't want to go past this. It wasn't just the money. Yes, the money is good, but it wasn't just the money for me. To me, I was just like, let me just get something, provided that I can get a job that I will be relevant or have a skill that I will be relevant in the next 20, 25 years. I can upskill from there and also be able to take care of my kids at home, given my own family dynamics. That was just what it was for me. Thank you so much, Sing Skills, for giving me the opportunity.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Chibuzo, for sharing. And I always tell you, I didn't even realize you were quite new in the country because you have so much confidence and in the way that you describe things and narrate things. I absolutely had no idea. And for someone who was even just getting used to the system and being able to just say, nah, this is what I need to do is extremely, extremely phenomenal. So thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Always very constant with the What's the reason? Why do you want to do this? You knowing that that's the only option for you was a big driver, because know that you really, at those moments where you felt this is too much, this is a lot, and that's the truth. Like, it's really a lot. It's really a lot that is happening. It's really a lot that you had to do, learning something in 3 months and having to go through that sort of rigorous process. It's a lot. But so thank you so much, and we're really excited. Congratulations for making all the big waves on your project, adding so much value. I'm sure they are extremely excited to have you working as a business analyst. So well done, well done. Great. So we're just cognizant of our time. Let me see how much time we've got left. So yes, we are going to very quickly. I mean, you guys have heard all of the amazing testimonials. In the interest of time, we obviously can't take everyone. But very quickly, we wanted to delve into barriers to entry and just doubling down on what Chibu just said. Information. Two things was there. There were people telling her that this is what is available. Sales personnel, this is what, you either explore nursing or in the health sector. If those were the only circle, like the set of people that she surrounded herself with, the story could have been different, because then in her head it's like, well, this is what they do in this country anyway. There's no opportunity there for me. I'll just jump into it. So just talking about some of the barriers to entry, again, is really that awareness that is missing for a lot of people, and you not being in a position to be privy to the information that you really need. At least for me, as an example, I know that the narrative that I was fed when I came into the country was the fact that, oh, you need to go and get your certificate 2 and certificate 3 and all of that jazz, that was going around, and there was really no clear pathway to what I was going to do from a career point of view, right? And to Chibuzo's point, she was also in that space. But then again, there were other people telling her, oh no, I can connect you to this person. I can connect you to this program. I can connect you to this. And of course, we spoke with her, and that really, really aligned with what she wanted. So part of our mission is to ensure that we can break that barrier, awareness, information. You never know, post this session, please feel free to share the information from this session. We'll share the video with you. Feel free to share with people in your circle. You just never know, you may be helping someone out there. Someone may need this information. Please don't hound it. You don't make an assumption that, everyone's happy with the job that they're doing, or they're really comfortable with the work that they are doing. We want to bring the awareness out there. And again, failure, I always say, there's two things. There are two sets of people. There are people who see what they want to do and what they want to achieve. And there are people who see what stops them from achieving their goals. You need to make a call on the person that you want to be. Do you want to be a person that just sees stumbling block? Do you want to see someone that says, I may fail? Do you want to see someone that just says, I don't think this is for me? Or do you want to, you solely focused on, I want to change my career. I want more flexibility. How do I get there? The process. I want to get another job. I'm sick of having to trade my time for money. How do I get there? Because when failure kicks into, when you are so swamped with the fear of failing, you will never ever make a headway, because all you see is the fact that you fail. I know what they say, fear kills faster than failure, because you're so scared in your mind. And I probably, if you've been on one of our sessions, you probably have heard me say this. There was a time in my life where I was so timid, and when I think about it, I'm like, but why? Are they going to kill you? I grew up as a kid that talked a lot. I did a lot of talking. Like I could relate to anyone. And our Nigerian parents will make jokes like, oh, this girl talks too much. Maybe, maybe she's going to be a lawyer. I don't know. I don't even know the relationship where if you talk too much, you're probably going to be a newscaster, a broadcaster in Nigeria. But I talked so much. I had so much confidence. But then I just got to that point in life where I became that girl that was so shielded. And if I were to go on stage, and all my life, I've always had an opportunity to always be in the forefront, go on stage, just address people. But I realized there was a point where I would be so shy and a little bit scared, and just really And I thought about it. Why? There's no point. Whatever it is that I need to do, once I put the right level of preparation, I will give it my best. And if I don't make it better, the first try, that's an opportunity for me to go back to the drawing board and build and make it better. So please don't be scared of failing. It's all part of the journey. It's part of the process. Again, confidence. I always say knowledge, gives you power. When you acquire more knowledge, when you acquire more skills, it slowly builds that confidence. At least I know for me, my confidence is driven by so many things. Sometimes it could be in my mood. Sometimes it could be the things that I know or the things that I've prepared for. But I've even taken that a step further to say my confidence is a standalone. Nothing should shake that. I should own it. Whether or not I have a lot of information about something at that point in time, whether or not I don't have any information, it shouldn't affect my level of confidence. I say to you confidently, look, I have no answer for you. I don't have an idea of what you're talking about at this point in time. Can I come back to you on this? Or I say to you, oh, look, that's extremely interesting what you've mentioned. I may come back to you on this one. I'll provide you some more details if that's okay tomorrow. I say it confidently because guess what? No one is an island of knowledge. You're never going to know everything. So your confidence is a standalone, and I know that it's a gradual process, and it took a lot of work for me to get to where I am. I know that to the glory of God, I step anywhere with my head high. I know that whatever it is that you want to say, I will confidently stand my ground. I may not have all the answers, but I will tell you confidently that I do not have an answer for you at that point in time. Again, skills, you can acquire skills, you can build skills. In terms of local experience, Think Skills provide that, for you which Noah is going to talk about very, very shortly. But yes, these are some of the barriers again that we're really trying to ensure that where possible we can break it and people would literally have no limitations in the tech space or in building a career that really does offer them the flexibility and the money. Money is good. That's not the only thing, but to some people that's a really big thing for them. And there's a lot more as well, but in the interest of time, I'm going to move to the next stage. And Noah, if you're ready, let me know.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions, by the way, please pop it in the comment section. I will definitely pick that up. So if you've got any questions, please let us know and we'll pick that up. Noah, over to you.
Thank you, Tayo. Please, can we turn to opportunity slide because we promised $130,000 jobs in Australia, which is a big claim, but we've seen so many people here already that it's just at the beginning. Yeah, so there are a lot of rules that we've talked about today, and we're not telling you something that is not practicable. You can actually go and seek yourself and research these roles. So Scrum Master, Product Owner, Business Analyst, Data Analyst, change managers, project managers, name it. Tosi mentioned something earlier. The no the roles that you don't actually need to code are one of the highest paying, roles in tech. You can research it. So the skills that you learn, the experience that you would acquire with our program will really set you apart to be able to get some of these roles. But it's not like without work. You've seen some of our alumni share their beautiful experience, and none of them will say it's easy. But what we promise is we're going to work with you as long as you want to do that work till you get that outcome. It can take 6 months, it can take 4 months, it can take 1 year. As long as you are ready to put in the work, you can get these salaries. So check business analysts, you will see average salaries. Yeah, I sit on some of these salaries as well. I know a lot of people here as well earn around this range. So there's a lot of incredible opportunity. And guess what? You need to do one job that gives you flexibility and you can really enjoy, right? So sometimes the way the work is, sometimes it's not every day you work 8 hours or 7 hours. That's not how the work is. You have leverage, you have flexibility, to be creative, to do other things that you love. And if you were here earlier when I was talking, I said this is the first pillar for you to prosper. Now, when you have a good job that even allows you think and think about, okay, what else can I do with this extra time that I have, then you're getting out to something. So do a job where you have free time. I'm not talking about, yeah, you can go to a job and you're not really doing much there, but you still have to be there. That's not freedom. The money you earn should give you freedom at the end of the day. These jobs can give you freedom, can allow you do work that really matter. So with that, I don't want to overflog this. It is very, you can really just punch in seek.com.au, check these roles out for yourself, and you will see the figures for yourself. Now, you've heard from our alumni, we've talked about some of the barriers. So how then do we help you actually get into some of these roles, right? So we're not focusing on all the no-code roles at this stage. Specifically, we want to get you into roles where you can still take some of the key skills that you already have doing what you do. You see, Okpe shared with you guys. Okpe is a nurse. He's a business analyst that is also still a nurse, right? Working with a company that has that, that aligns with what it currently has. So our name, Sync Skills, is designed that way. So you come to us, you sync your existing skills and learn new ones, BA, project management, Scrum Master, product owner, whatever, problem solving really, and marry it together, then you're unstoppable. Then when you get your leg into the industry and you're enjoying it and you know what is possible, then later you can say, oh yeah, I want to be a enterprise architect. I want to be a data scientist. I want to be a software developer. You're not doing it under pressure. I see some people make mistakes. They just go and do courses or very technical roles that they get stuck and then they give up and say, no, there's no opportunity. We know that you have balancing act. You still need to fend for yourself. Go and do this work, do everything. Some of you have so many kids, there's so many things to actually contend with. So sometimes you might not have that patience to learn the technical things at the first instance. So this is an easy opportunity. I say easy in terms of the skills that you can leverage. It is not easy that you don't have to put effort. We're still going to talk about that. But typically, we have a 3-month success roadmap. It's really about training you. So we train you in-depthly so you get the skills and experience. What we will not do is compromise on quality where you are half-baked, right? If you're half-baked, you didn't put in the work, full stop. But we teach you all the core things that makes you a generalist BA. Generalist BA meaning any BA job you see, you have the core foundational skills to do the job. Now, you're not going to learn all the skills. Just imagine, how many tools do you have? How many do we have in the world? We simply cannot focus on teaching you all the tools. I don't even know all the tools. You would not need to know all the tools. But if you have that core knowledge, if you call Dr. Dakpo, he has the core knowledge. When you get to the organization, you learn the specific tools that they are using in the organization. It's easy to learn, and that's what the work requires. So, generalist BA, you learn all the core foundational things, and it's not theoretical based for us, where you just learn theory, and that's it. You heard Okpe. The assessment are things that you'll be doing on the job. It is carefully designed that way. So from day one, when you get a job, if you've not revised some things, you can always refer to what you learned in class to actually perform on that job. It's that good. I mean, you've heard it from the horse's mouth, right? So that is how much precision and careful thought we've put into designing the program. So you're going to learn key things that you'll be doing on the job, depending on where you're working and what their focus is on, you have the base. So after that, we get into certification. So what is certification about? It is the least important part of the whole program. In fact, nowadays we just want people to get skilled. So the certification makes sense. A lot of people go and chase certification thinking that's what will help them land the job. Yeah, it's just a futile effort. It's not going to work because organization wants you to answer the question, can you do the job? Nobody will ask you, oh, hi Tayo, I'm trying to recruit a business analyst. Do you have CBAP or do you have PSP or PS? That is not what they ask you. Walk me through your experience and what you've done and how you've added value. Those are the questions. So certification is the least important part. We just do it so that your profile kind of stand out, especially for people who are not even technically inclined at all. Maybe they are coming from other, like whatever you've been doing. We just help you, just packaging. That's the real importance of certification at this stage. We focus on you actually knowing the skills. So we do that certification. It's part of the program. We register you, we prepare you. Hundreds of people have done it and passed, so we have resources to help you easily pass, right? And then the next thing is about personal profile, like personal branding. So things like LinkedIn, we want to optimize. Resume, hey, I know some of you here use one resume to apply to all the jobs, right? So we need to we research the market, so we actually teach you how to approach job application process so that you can optimize your chances. You're still going to get rejection, and that's part of the process, but you optimize your chance when you apply correctly, and that's what we focus on. So you optimize your resume, your Seek profile, your LinkedIn. We are not leaving any stone unturned. It's very important. Then we go beyond that and start to step into how do you get the best preparation for interviews. When you know that resume's job is to get you an interview, it's not to get you a job, it's to get you an interview. When you get that interview, what do you do with it? There are some people that have been fortunate to get interviews and they fumble it. They don't even know, they are terrified, they are not confident. First, our program will set you up, you learn the right things as long as you practice it. Then we do weekly interview prep. Now we're going to introduce our AI coach. That would be, if you don't want to talk to Noah, maybe you are terrified of Noah, I don't know. You can do AI interview coach, then come to Tayo and Tosi interview prep, right? So there's that part. It is weekly, Mondays and Tuesdays, 3-hour session. We do interview prep, mock interviews, just to help you go through the answers. How are you answering this question? The soft skills application. Are you really answering questions in a way that demonstrates your skills and experience? You don't just want to go to interview, oh, tell me about yourself, and this and that. You're not giving flesh about your experience, what industry you've worked on with, what skills you have, the project you've worked on. So we work with you to create what we call elevator pitch that gives you a structure. Just imagine you go to an interview and you already have that structure of how to tackle the market, like how to tackle the question rather. So we practice all those questions to get the optimal performance out of it. So you go to interview and it looks more like a chat. Of course, the first one can still feel nervy, because again, it's the first thing. But as you do more, you start to build memory muscle, and then you start to crush this interview. And guess what? You crush it, what happens? Offer letter. There's really no magic happening there. So next slide. So we provide that support. So just to nail the actual things that happens post-training. So there's one bracket, what happens during training. We teach you all those skills. That's for 3 months, right? Thursdays and Friday, 5 to 8 p.m. Brisbane time. You learn the skills. Now, the things that help you secure the job is post-training. Is, as I said, you develop your portfolio. We don't want you to go to an interview and have to think from the spot for all the question, right? So we work with you and hey, let's develop a portfolio so you tap into your current skills and experience. So you have structure on exactly what project you'll be talking about there in the interview. Like it's magical. Like we give you feedback, work with you to make sure that those projects are solid. And then it's now your job to go and, practice it, digest it, rehearse it, all of those things. Then next thing, elevator pitch. 2 minutes. How are you going to sell yourself? In that, tell me about yourself question. In that, what interests you to apply to this job? In that, what's your motivation to apply to this company? All of those questions. How are you going to sell yourself? If I ask some of you now, you will have to think like, again, that's because you don't have your elevator pitch. So what we do is to take away that tension, make it easier, have it. You do challenge. You are currently doing a challenge, 10-day challenge. All what they do is to record themselves 2 minutes, how they are going to sell themselves. Tell me about yourself. Because guess what? That is almost 90% of the interview will start that way. They want to know about, you, right? So imagine you already have the cheat code. You've practiced it so much. You just go there and tell them. It settles you into the interview in itself. Because you have that head start. You're not having to think about how am I going to answer this question. You already have answer. And to other top, interview question that we have a bank of, like you've seen some of our students, we've not even acknowledged some of them, Rachel, Lola, Jude, and a couple of others that are still on this call, right? That, they will share later. But, we've gone through so many people that have done interviews and have given us questions, and we too, we've done interviews, that helps us actually collate that bank of knowledge. So nothing beats that, right? And that's our focus. So the next thing is, again, you need to be able to revise course content and practice it. All the things you learn in that 3-month period is not to just bin it and just lock it somewhere. You need to find, at least go over it 3 times. You would have built a lot of skills and competencies forever. And I say it without fear, right? So you do that. That is practical formula that we've seen has helped a lot of people. So you go over it 3 times, it sticks, and you can recall those skills, you can apply them, and it just sets you apart. Then we say the formula, apply to 4 jobs a day. You have to be crazy and obsessed about these things. Just apply. Whether you're happy, apply. You're sad, apply. You're feeling it, apply. You're not, apply. Just apply. 4 jobs like what you're doing, even if it's your village people, you're sending them away. Of course, you're applying correctly. That's why we said quality application. We teach you how to apply correctly, so you're not shooting blanks. We are going to release a podcast. I encourage some, all of you to watch it. Next one, one of our alumni shared what he was doing wrong about job application. So you stay tuned for that. Because of time, I don't want to get into that. So apply quality application for a day, right? You will see miracle happen. Like it would get you a lot of opportunities. Of course, a lot of rejections will come. You can't be the candidate for all the organization. That's not how life works. Not everybody will want you. Not everybody will want me. Even if Elon Musk is applying to jobs, there's no way he gets all the interviews. So some people will not like him, as powerful as he is. So you're not going to get all the job for interviews. You're not going to get all the interviews. You're going to get some. And you just need 1 yes to get a job. That's beautiful. And if you go to Seek today, you see 8,000 jobs. That means you have 8,000 opportunity for business analysts alone to get a job. I think that is incredible. And as I said earlier, Australia needs skilled workers. I can't say it enough. Check on Seek for yourself. Check the news. There's opportunity. You want to position yourself to learn the skills so you can tap into that opportunity and change your life. You can really change your life if you form success habits. So you practice your elevator pitch, as I said, you do that daily. There's no way you will not be confident to answer that question. It's just like you will not forget if somebody asks you, what's your name? Even if you're nervous, you will still say something, right? So that is the way it is. Practice, practice, practice. Let everybody around you know that, this person, right? This person is crazy about this thing. That is how you know that, yeah, I am doing it right. If people are not saying, every time BA or Scrum Master, every time this and that, you rehearsing in front of the mirror, right? Tosin will tell you, he shared in one of our webinar, he will stay in front of mirror, record. And if you're like me, I hate to hear my recording. I'm just feeling better about it after how many videos or webinars now? Maybe 250, right? I still sometimes don't like to record myself and listen to it. So, but I had to do it because now when I want to edit videos, you can't escape it, So, but the point here is practice it and it gets better, so that is the key. And we also provide, as I said, tools for you, job scan, AI coach, resume scanner, different tools that will help you succeed. Now, this one is the king. You need to attend mock interviews with us. There's no service in the world that beats it. If you want to get specifically business analyst, scrum master, all these no-code tech here in Australia and beyond, just attend. Ask our alumni how our interview prep is. We go into details. We scrutinize things and give you valuable feedback that will help you, go there and shine and build confidence. We say all those tension that you want to go and face in the real interview, come and do it with us, practice, and then you see that we get feedback like, now Tosin and Tayo's interview is more difficult than the actual job interviews. And that's what we want. So we test you to the core. So you go there and it's easier for you. And you get the job, you escape. So for us, it is your job offer that graduates you from Sin Skills, right? So if you don't get job offer, you can't leave Sin Skills. Except you just block all of us. We will be chasing you one time, like we will just be on top of it. So please, these are the success habits for people that actually make a change in their life. You can see that there's deliberate effort, there's no magic. We do the training and everything. We provide all the support, tools, moral support. Sometimes we are pastors, sometimes we are therapists, sometimes we are teachers, sometimes we are friends, sometimes we are, I don't even know, because at the end of the day, right, everybody that signs up to, there's human at the end of this course. People get sick, people lose people. So I can't even go into so many issues people go through in their life. And then when I'm chasing or Tyler's chasing and they tell you, oh, I just had this incident, and you have to tailor your support. So yeah, there's so many things behind the scenes that we do you can't even begin to imagine. But yeah, God is helping us. The point is, majority of the work rests on your shoulder. You have to not give up. You have to cultivate this success habit, and amazing things will happen. The first month might be slow. It might feel like, I'm not making progress. It might feel like, this guy in the class have gotten job. This one has got, only me left, only me. But just keep going. Don't be discouraged. And you will definitely get the outcome that you want. Is it easy? No, it's not. But you got to put in the work, and it's going to happen. So I'm encouraging you, for those people that want to make a change in their life, you need to ask yourself, in 10 years, like Chibuzo said, in 5 years, is this going to be sustainable? When I have kids, when I get married, perhaps, when I'm older, will I still be able to do the same thing? Pull shift, the previous slide, please. Will I be able to do all these things that I can do now, right? That is the question. Because if you're in a job that is repetitive, that is not high growth, that a student from India comes or Nigeria, they do the same, they compete with you, the same space, it is not good for you. You want to do a thing that is a little bit hard, right? And high growth, so you can differentiate yourself for the future. It is super important. So we are taking the message all over Australia. By the way, now we have partnership with a couple of companies. But yeah, to emphasize, we provide support to you for you till you get a job, as long as you're willing to put in the work. We provide tailored support. I've mentioned that. We are about change, not profit. I've also mentioned that. We have a bigger mission. We want to resolve all the barriers, like beyond, oh, you're good. An Australian might need to just be average. You must be exceptional to be able to compete. Take it or leave it. So you can imagine the kind of work you need to do if you want to really enter rooms where you dream, like you can only dream. It is possible. We are living some dreams that we thought, hey, it's not gonna happen. I tell you, a lot of things can happen, and very quickly at that. So yeah, we know local work experience, Australian experience is a problem, all of that. We have partnership with Justin Solution, is also our company. So you will do internship, gain valuable experience, build your portfolio, build your confidence. Working, you heard Chibuzo's testimony. That gave her perspective. You're working with actual team, and some of them are on this call. Salawat, Jane and Co, Chiamaka. I see you guys. Like they are super people. Just yesterday, another success testimony. Someone that enrolled, all of that, project lead. Even in the same company that she was doing something different, right? Now she's upskilled so much, and she interviewed for the role when the role opened up, and now project lead. I'm not talking about project manager, project lead. Those are the things that can happen. But did it happen overnight? No. She'll be working for 1 year, just coming, grinding, and pushing. Things can happen as long as you don't give up. As I said, we're partnering with companies like Academy, XI, ACS Australia, Tech Council Australia. We've also had conversation with Nigerian Commission Canberra. So yeah, we're spreading our tentacles. We're trying to make things easier so that in future we can get companies to actually come and directly recruit from us, and that would make it even easier. But are we also getting a lot of no's? Absolutely. Is my ego on the floor some days? Absolutely. Right? It's not easy to be told no. Oh, sorry, not oh, we don't do this. Someday I'll just right here bang my like I'm just like, oh my goodness, I need a break. Just no. But then yes comes and it just compensates for those no. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, but you keep pushing. My approach in life now is I want to do something for 10 years before I give up on it. If I want to learn a skill, I'm like 10 years I'm going to give to learning this one skill. I know it must work. There's no way about it. We want to build our YouTube channel. It's slow, but you know what? We're going for 10 years because I know I'm going to look back at 10 years and say, hey, wow, it was tough, but we did it. that is how you should think about it as well. So yeah, friends, we want you to succeed. There's a lot of reason why you should enroll with us. I don't want to go into that. I think you've heard because cognizance of time, you've heard from our amazing colleagues. If you want to learn more, you can reach out to us. We have a lot of resources on our YouTube, our socials as well. So just to respect everybody's time. So if you want to take advantage of the free gifts we have, tomorrow we're actually starting another cohort. So we're pretty much almost fully booked actually. So if you want to take advantage of our 10%, which is exclusive, we don't really give bonus. Like we don't, like it's always rare because our operating costs and so many reasons really. But today, because you've given us your time and we hope that you're inspired by one or two, give you opportunity. If you want to sign up, if you have questions, follow us on our channels. You can send us a DM. If you want to take opportunity of this like generous offer, I would say you can scan to book. If you have questions, you can follow us on our socials and we'll clarify that question after the call as well. So thank you so much. I'm going to pass it to Tyra so we can round up in a bit. Thank you for listening.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Noah, for taking us through that journey. Powerful, powerful. But let me say a special thank you to every single one of you on this call right now. I cannot begin to, mention all of your names, but we do really, really appreciate you spending your evening with us. We've all heard it, change starts now. Okay, so if you're thinking to explore career opportunity in the tech space, no code tech roles, like we've mentioned, please feel free beyond this session. You can reach out to us on Instagram. This is our socials. And if you wanted to pass this message again to someone who is keen to take advantage of our very limited offer, which is 10% off the program, by all means. But it's been an absolute pleasure spending the evening with you guys. Special thanks to Chibuzo Okpe, amazing guest, Dr. Dapo, and to all of our alumni as well, all of you amazing individuals from Justin Solutions all over the world. Thank you all so much for spending your evening with us. I hope that you are inspired. I hope that you've taken something away from today's session, which is so long you don't stop, so long you do not stop, you're definitely going to achieve, all you set out. And remember, everything seems impossible until it is done. So please keep grinding, keep working. So all the Sync Skills, internal team, we're always here for you guys. So please, you're never, ever on this journey alone. Again, thank you all so much for your time. Follow us on Instagram. Does anyone have any questions at all? If you've got any questions, by all means, please let me know. I didn't quite catch a lot in the comment section, but an opportunity, feel free to unmute your microphone if you've got any question, but otherwise we'll call it an evening. Thank you so much, Lola. Thank you, everyone. Chibuzo, Salawat, Deborah, Chibundu, Mimi, Tosin, Nancy, Emmanuel. Thank you, Toluwani. Thank you, Eddie. If I don't mention your name, I really do appreciate you. Francis, Cyrus, Tolu. Thank you all so much. Please remember, well, on Instagram, Sync Skills AU, TikTok, Sync Skills AU, same on YouTube as well. We do have our podcast going live as well. So please, there's lots of amazing things, on our YouTube that would serve as a big, motivation for you. And remember, we are just one phone call away. So thank you all so much for your time. We'll be ending the session now, and God bless. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, everyone.